direction of the government.
Yes.
That's what the government is saying.
Yes.
That for them, they are repealing this act because they have a new direction and they want us to follow that direction.
Yes, I wouldn't have that particular problem. But you are saying because there is a change.
Of course. The only reason, Mr. Speaker, the only reason why the government is saying this because it's a new government. They say it is their direction. So I'm asking, if in 4 years, and it will happen, you are no more in power, we were expecting the new government to also bring a new act to reflect their direction. Is that what we are saying? Mr. Speaker, I am saying that they say the bill envisages the National Security Council, chaired by the President, will work directly with the Office of National Security Coordinator and the Director General of the Intelligence DAT. And more importantly, the policy direction of the government. And that's the principal reason. The policy direction of the government is to provide for a security architecture where the National Security Coordinator coordinates the activities of the security and intelligence agencies in the country. Mr. Speaker, that is already the practice. In fact, even the old bill under Jerry Rawlings, that was the practice. Under this current bill, that is the practice. So you cannot say, Mr. Speaker, that the policy direction for which you are changing the bill is because you want the National Security Coordinator to coordinate the activities. It's already, that is what is being done. Mr. Speaker, the framers of our Constitution, and let me be very clear, the framers of our Constitution were very, very clear, that there shall be an office of a National Security Coordinator to coordinate the activities of the security agencies. So every time, whether it's a Wednesday, it's a Tuesday, they meet in a JCR to coordinate the activities, Mr. Speaker, and that has always been the practice. That has always been the practice. Mr. Speaker, what is your time? You sit down. So, Mr. Speaker, they convene meetings in our time every Wednesday.
Hold it. I recognize Honorable Yarga.
Ordinarily, I will not interrupt debate. But you made a statement that it is provided for in the Constitution. No. You said it's provided for in the Constitution that there shall be a National Security Coordinator who shall coordinate the activities. And I just want to correct that there's no office of coordinator in the Constitution. There's a secretary to the council. There's a secretary, but not a coordinator.
There has always been an office of the National Security Coordinator. His duty has always been to coordinate the activities of the security agencies. The NIB, in those days, the BNI, now NIB, right? Mr. Speaker, the research, which works directly under the Minister for Foreign Affairs, because the NIB is the internal one, research is external, and Mr. Speaker, and also they liaise with the defense intelligence and the police intelligence. In our time, every Wednesday, the heads of this institution will meet with the National Security Coordinator, they'll coordinate the activities, and the National Security Coordinator will go and brief the President on all that is happening. And all the information on daily basis are sent to the coordinator. So the object for which we are changing this bill has already catered for in the two previous bills. So I don't know why you are doing that. Two, you should not, let me advise, you should not, and you should never make the office of the National Security Coordinator an agency. And if the Interior Minister is listening, please, you will realize that in practice, you will want the accounts of the National Security Coordinator not to be audited. If you make it an agency, you will have difficulty raising funds when there's problem in any part of the country. Because as Minister for Defense, I did not have interest. I didn't have resources lying down. I couldn't. And there was no way I could have any resources lying down. The only place, Honorable Minister, was to rely on the Office of National Security Coordinator to immediately raise funds within seconds for the soldiers to move. And so it will be dangerous for this nation to make that office an agency and say that Parliament shall audit its accounts just like what they are doing to others. I think it's a misplaced priority. If you do that, you will suffer. Take it from me.
Give it to Ayaka.
you will have difficulty because when you need your soldiers to move in 30 minutes to quell an instance, you have resources. When you have fuel finish in Bema camp, Mr. Speaker, and you need fuel instantly, you have resources. When the soldiers are in Boku, they are in Bimbala, they are in Zibila, they are in Wa, and the ration runs out, and you need resources to be able to immediately send money to them, you have difficulty. You will need the National Security Office to stay as it is, to provide quick, adequate resources. Otherwise, you're going to have problems, Mr. Speaker. That has always been the practice, and it's good practice. I don't know why you want to change it. If you do, Mr. Speaker, trust me, after 1 year, we will change it. If we do, just within 1 year of practice, we will change it. It should never be an agency. Why should it be? It should be directly under the president. It should serve the National Security Council, as it's currently doing, and he should report directly to the president. Don't tie the president's hands. Don't. And I think that this bill, we should really look at it. I don't think there's a need for a new bill. I don't think. If the president has a problem of appointing a minister, he should not appoint the minister as he has done. There's no need. If the president thinks that he won't appoint the minister, that is his prerogative. He should appoint the minister. But to bring a new bill and change a lot of things that would rather be to the detriment of our security architecture, I think it's not good. Because when I take this and I go through the clauses one by one, and you go through these clauses and you change them, in 2 years you come back here and change most of them again. Because in practice, you are going to face problems. If you don't have a finance minister who understands security, and you change this, you will have problems. Atu may not always be there. Maybe he understands, maybe he doesn't understand. But I can tell you that you face problems. So, Mr. Speaker, let's look at this. We are doing some of these things for the nation. We are not doing it because NDC is in power or MPP is in power. We are doing it because it is the best practice. I don't know why anybody will want to do what they intend to do, unless I'm not understanding what the bill itself is seeking to do. But if you do that, you have problems. Mr. Speaker, the president is right to say that he will choose a minister who will oversee the operations of national security. That has always been the case. Until recently when a ministry was created out of it. So even with that, some people will still choose a minister just to oversee, like they have chosen Magufuli Mutaka to oversee it. It's normal. I don't think that we should be taking the bill, ripping it apart after 4 years, and bringing in something that will give us problems. Mr. Speaker, let me go back to the point I made. Don't make the Office of National Security Coordinator an agency that will report to a minister.
Honorable former minister, you are sounding repetitive, so
Thank
conclude.
you. But I'm just saying that for emphasis, let me repeat, don't make it like that. It will create problems for you. It will create problems for the sitting president. It will create problems for the smooth run of the security agencies. It will create problems for us. Because remember, security is a daily routine. It runs every day and changes very quickly. The face of security changes very quickly. And you need resources, quick resources every time. So if we are not careful and we go the way we are going, Mr. Speaker, we'll have problems. Maybe during the clause by clause itself, we may all have to look at it and we know it properly and advise the president. Otherwise, Mr. Speaker, I tell you, on the surface of it, we may like it. But if you ask security experts, they will tell you that if we do some of the things we want to do, Mr. Speaker, we'll come back in 2 years' time to change it. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Member, you have the floor. I'll come to you after that.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to contribute to the report. Mr. Speaker, I have my contribution couched in 3 forms. One, Mr. Speaker, the first is on the issue of the composition. Mr. Speaker, let me start by commending the committee for putting together a very good report, a comprehensive report for that matter. Mr. Speaker, looking at page 7 of the report, specifically paragraph 8.2, which talks about the composition. Mr. Speaker, the report itself covers or says that per clause 1.2 of the bill, there is that strong recommendation for the expansion of the National Security Council. Mr. Speaker, but the report itself admits that given Article 83 of the Constitution, the 1992 Constitution of the report recommends of Article 83 of the Constitution. And so, Mr. Speaker, with your kind permission, if I may read the first line of Article 83(1), Mr. Speaker, it reads, "There shall be a National Security Council which shall consist of." Mr. Speaker, it's my humble submission that in reviewing this provision or in amending this provision of the Constitution, instead of using the word "consists of" in order to give meaning to the call for the expansion of the National Security Council, we can then have Article 83(1) of the Constitution now amended to read, and with your permission, "There shall be a National Security Council which shall include." Mr. Speaker, if you use the word "include," then you have a room to add more to the list. But as it stands now per the Constitution, the word there is "consist," which means that it's a closed door. And so we can only be able to deal with the list as we have it there, from 83(1) to 83K. Mr. Speaker, the call for the expansion also says that the President must have regard to the Ghana Immigration Service, the Ghana National Fire Service, and gender balance. Mr. Speaker, if you do that, then you are taking away the discretion given by the President per Article 83(1)K. And with your kind permission, Mr. Speaker, I wish to read Article 83(1)K, which says, after listing all the members of the Council, it says 3 persons appointed by the President. Mr. Speaker, it's not for nothing that the Constitution itself will leave it open and give the discretion to the President to appoint those 3 persons. But now if you are saying that we should now add a member of the Immigration Service, a member of the Fire Service, and considered gender balance, it means that you are tying the hands of the President. So these 3 persons, which the Constitution has given such wide discretion to the President, is now seen to be a closed issue. And so, Mr. Speaker, I wish to commend the committee, because if you look at their report per paragraph 8.21, they have dealt with this issue and have done so well with that. Mr. Speaker, having spoken about the composition, I wish to comment on the membership. Mr. Speaker, there is the issue of the composition of the Regional Security Council and the District Security Council. And there's that call that in constituting the District Security Council, the DCE, or if you like, the MCE, should nominate the MP. So the MP should be a member, but the member of Parliament should be nominated by the DCE. I feel that, Mr. Speaker, this will not be the best for the country, because per the hierarchy of things, I do not see how an MP of a constituency will now have to be appointed by his DCE to serve on the council. If there is a need for the MP to serve on the said district council, then there must be a way of appointing him, or the constitution or the bill must simply say that the MP must serve on the council, but not to give that power to the DCE or the MCE to appoint the MP to serve on the council. Mr. Speaker, I think this is not best for
Honourable member, have you seen the amendment proposed by the committee and attached to the report?
No, please, Mr. Speaker, I'm speaking without directly from the report.
Please, you have to look at it.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, I'm guided.
If you look at it carefully, you will realize that the basis of your argument is flawed.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Speaker, I'm guided. Mr. Speaker, the other issue regarding the committee's report is the fact that there seems to be a rejection of the call to have the MP represented at the District Security Council. Mr. Speaker, and the simple reason is that it will create some political interference. Mr. Speaker, I don't think the inclusion of an MP or the MP in the the District Security Council will necessarily create political interference, because, Mr. Speaker, the MP is also part of the security architecture of the district or the constituency. And so if you have the MP represented, at least it will even help to ensure that the one who has the mandate of the people is part of the council that takes decisions affecting the security of the people. And so, Mr. Speaker, it is my humble appeal that the provision that allows MP to be represented must be maintained and should not be rejected. Mr. Speaker, the last part of my argument is on the call to have a Deputy National Security Coordinator, Mr. Speaker, I think this call is in the right direction, and I think it can come under Article 195 of the Constitution, which gives power to the President to appoint persons to even act in acting positions. And so, Mr. Speaker, it is my humble appeal that we should include and have it stated in the bill the position of the Deputy National Security Coordinator, and that power should be given to the President to appoint. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, honourable member.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me the opportunity to speak to your committee's report. Mr. Speaker, the fear that my senior colleague, Honorable Nitiwu, is admonishing is exactly what this bill is seek to cure. Exactly. By saying when government changes and government comes. That is why this bill is being brought to this House for members to support it so that that fear will not be in existence. If you look at Act 526, which has been in existence for over 2 decades, then if you come to Act 1032, which has been in existence for 5 years, these are the two main bills that we have drawn best practices from to come up with this report. So that is going to cure your fear. And I'm happy you said all that we are seeking to do is already in existence. So what is your fear again? So, Mr. Speaker, if you look at the committee's report, that is why we did not accept the fact that members of parliament should be part of the Regional and District Security Council membership. We didn't accept it. Then you have not gone through the report. We didn't accept it for members of parliament to be members of the RESEC and the district. So, Mr. Speaker, what this bill seeks to do is for the bill to stand the test of time, more resilient. If you look at the coercion that happened at the committee level, we were...
He says
Coercion. Yes. Coercion. Yes. The synergy. Yes. The synergy at the committee level was so superior. Yes. Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, if you look at the committee's report, there were legal brains that were part of the committee report. The Renomi committee members were there. And well expertise were part of this committee report formulation, so that at the end of it, when it comes to the floor of the House, nobody will have the laxity to say this report is not to stand the test of time. So, Mr. Speaker, if you look at paragraph 8.6, the committee's report conforms to the Constitution. That is the supremacy of the land. Anything we came up with, we suck the root from the Constitution, so that at the end, it will be more formidable to stand the test of time. So I'll urge honorable members to support this report so that at the end, the bill we are going to enact will stand the test of time. And irrespective of whichever you find yourself in the political device, be it in opposition or in governance, you will stand firm and will fear no evil. Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Well, I intend to take one more from here and then come to leadership. Yes, Honorable Dr. Kabiru.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, and let me thank my senior colleague for yielding to me. Mr. Speaker, without the risks of sounding repetitive, I need to state for emphasis that the memorandum accompanying the bill is totally different from the content of the bill. Mr. Speaker, the bill proposed far-reaching and sweeping reforms and amendment to Act 1030. And those amendments are not minor amendments. In fact, they are fundamental amendments to Act 1030, including the abolishment of the office of the Minister responsible for national security. Because Act 1030 provides that there shall be a minister responsible for national security. This proposed amendment seeks to abolish that. Mr. Speaker, without any explanation in the memorandum, the rationale for such a decision. Mr. Speaker, there is also the proposal in this particular bill to, make certain reforms to the functions of the National Security Coordinator. These are fundamental amendments that we think that if you wanted to do that, the memorandum accompanying the bill should have specified clearly what mischief is the current architecture of the national security of the country. What is the mischief that this current bill is supposed to cure? But there is none of such in the bill, Mr. Speaker, and I think that it did not help me. I've read through this particular bill, the whole bill, and I've read the memorandum accompanying the bill, Mr. Speaker, even as a non-member of the committee, and I think that that first issue would have to be addressed. Mr. Speaker, there is also an issue. If you read Section 19 of Act 1030 and Section 18, clearly these two provisions in the current law have not been attended to in the current act or in the current bill. Section 18 and Section 19 of Act 1030 have not been dealt with in this current proposal. And it's a major issue that I think that the memorandum should have attended to, and then even the current bill should have also addressed. Mr. Speaker, if you further read Section 17 and 11 of the proposed bill that is before this House, they have merged certain functions, and they are assuming that the functions that were performed by the internal security and the external security are almost the same. And this particular decision to merge this particular function is very dangerous for us, Mr. Speaker, because the role of the BNI or NIB and the role of the research department of the foreign affairs are totally different. And that to assume that they perform similar functions and to merge their functions and to not to reflect on the function they hitherto perform under Section 11 and Section 17 of Act 1030 is problematic, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I will need to further draw your attention to Section 18 of the proposed bill. Section 18, Mr. Speaker, provides for appointment of the Director General. The Director General, and with your permission, if I may read, Mr. Speaker, the President shall, in accordance with Article 195 of the Constitution, appoint a Director General as head of the internal and external securities agencies referred to in paragraph A, paragraph B and C of Section 12. Mr. Speaker, we have the Director General to be appointed in accordance with Article 195 of the Constitution, Mr. Speaker. But in my view, in my respectful view, Mr. Speaker, the Director of a BNI and the Director for the Research Department are supposed to still be independent and distinct positions to be held by those people as separate authorities, Mr. Speaker. Having one person being the Director General for the National Internal Security and the Director General, the same person as the Director for the External Security is too much of work for such a person to have. National security are serious issues, Mr. Speaker. National security are serious issues that if you don't have every single I dotted and every single T crossed, you will get it wrong. And we are facing recent threat of, extremism, Mr. Speaker. These extremist activities are not for one person to clog with the power, and you think that that one person is able to do the work of the national security. And Mr. Speaker, as a matter of principle, I am against the fact that the national security minister is supposed to be a minister assigned by the president. There must be a dedicated minister responsible for national security. There must be the national security minister, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the argument that you want to rationalize costs, you say that the president has the authority to appoint anyone to be the national security minister. Mr. Speaker, I argue that the fact that Honor Mutaka was appointed as the minister responsible additional for national security was in violation of Act 1030. Because the Act is very clear that there shall be a minister appointed who shall be a minister for national security. It is not for the president to decide that I want to give the national security minister to someone with other responsibility. It is not for the president to decide. And if the president wants to go by the dictates of this particular bill, Act 10, he should have appointed a different minister who will be responsible for national security. National security has to have a minister distinct from the minister responsible for interior. Mr. Speaker, I will further comment on the issues about the functions of National Security Council, Mr. Speaker. The Article 83 of the Constitution has clearly provided the functions of the National Security Council, Mr. Speaker. And those functions in this bill are supposed to be complete replica of those particular provisions in the Constitution. Mr. Speaker, there are identified mismatch. There are identified mismatch between Article 83 of the Constitution that provides for the National Security Council and their functions, and then the provisions in this bill that are dealing with the functions of the National Security Council. I'm sure when we come to probably the consideration stage of this particular bill, we will point out to those specific mismatch, because the language of the Constitution is clear, and the language of the Constitution should be replicated in the bill if we want to have the bill being consistent with the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana. Mr. Speaker, my last issue I would want to draw your attention to is the changes of the function of the Director General, Mr. Speaker, in Section 19 of the bill. Mr. Speaker, this bill has proposed to change, apart from the fact that I argue and I make the point that it is not proper to have the Director General being responsible for both internal and external security, the functions under this particular proposed bill are actually also limited in their scope as compared to Act 1030. And that fact that we have the national security, the Director General of the internal and external security function being limited, I think that it is doing much damage to our security and the security of the Ghanaian people. Mr. Speaker, these are my words, but I think that, one, we cannot use this bill to limit the powers of the president as contained in Article 83 of the Constitution. We cannot again use this power this bill to abolish the office of the national security or the minister responsible for national security, because the Act 1030 was clear. And the reason why we made provision for that, because we thought national security issues are serious issues that we need a dedicated minister, a minister who have complete and full attention for national security issues. Mr. Speaker, with these few words, I want to thank you so much for the opportunity to contribute to the report. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, at this side, I can still give the floor to Honorable Majority Chief Whip. Majority Chief Whip, I saw you on your feet. If you want to contribute, then I'll come to
Mr. Speaker, I was on my feet just to draw attention that the Honorable Kabiru appears to be repeating himself and was so fortuitously he concluded his comments. So no, but we are guiding. We are providing a guide. We are providing a guide.
Yes,
please.
Minority leadership.
We are providing a guide, please.
Mr. Speaker, thank you for the opportunity to add my voice to the debate on this bill. Mr. Speaker, Honorable Nitiwu took us through some issues, and my colleague who just debated further highlighted some points I have here, and I would not repeat all of the points they've already argued. But Mr. Speaker, it is important to underscore one fundamental issue. That the memorandum before us does not provide any empirical evidence to suggest that Act 1030 has failed. Mr. Speaker, it appears that this bill is more founded on partisan political interest than a national security interest for good governance. Mr. Speaker, without doubting the competence of my own senior, Honorable Muntaka Mubarak, I think that he's been overburdened. Handling Interior Ministry alone, with all the agencies there too, can take away all his energy. Then he has a further oversight responsibility as National Security Minister. Mr. Speaker, is he a National Security Minister responsible for the security of the state, or he's just there for the mere presence? Is he dormant or is active? To what extent is he in charge of those responsibilities as a National Security Minister? Mr. Speaker, I think that our democracy has come of age. We, as the political actors, must begin to move away from those parochial approach to governance. You are in power today, so you see everything expedient with changing certain fundamental principles, because as I overheard somebody saying somewhere, we are in power. Mr. Speaker, it is not enough to say you are in power. So you will change the architecture of the security of the state, even when it is not going to help the country. Mr. Speaker, we have a National Security Coordinator who is not going to be responsible to Parliament. Mr. Speaker, I recall that in the enactment process for Act 1030, the key argument by the then opposition, the minority in this House, was to the effect that bringing in a minister responsible for national security to be appointed as a bona fide minister for that infrastructure, institution of national security, would help with that interface between the people and government. And Parliament can summon such minister to answer questions and explain matters. Mr. Speaker, it is the reason why Parliament itself, in its new rules, created a new committee for intelligence, the Security and Intelligence Committee. And Mr. Speaker, we even went further to say that to be a member of that committee, you must take an oath because of what may come to you, so that members of that committee will not be one of those committees that you are working in and acting partisan, because you are going to receive sensitive information, sensitive intel that may affect the nation if you disclose. So we created an architecture where the minister will report to Parliament, work with our committee, and then ensure a seamless relationship. Mr. Speaker, what this bill is doing is to do away with all the gains we have achieved the last 4 years. And by the way, the coordinator, how is he to be appointed? We are not referring it to Article 195 of the Constitution. So the president would just appoint anybody, sit there, you are my coordinator. When even ministerial appointment, the Constitution provides that that minister must come through Parliament. And in Parliament, there are enactments like OSP, the Office of the Special Prosecutor. The Special Prosecutor comes to vetting. Parliament vets the Special Prosecutor. Why would it be that the coordinator, National Security Coordinator, will be a law to himself and will be a lord who is not answerable to anybody? And we are starting it right from here. If we create ambiguity in enactment.
Minority Leader, the Minister is on his
Very
feet.
well.
Let me recognize him.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to catch my colleague, the Minority Leader, on point of order to say that he is misleading this House. Because we've operated from Act 526, like earlier mentioned, for 24 years, and equally operated under 1030 for 4 years, so that's 28 years. And both 526 and 1030, the coordinator is appointed under Article 195. So this argument that you are making is, with a greater respect to you, something that we've been practicing. And then the issue about if somebody is responsible for national security will enroll or derail all the gains that have been made. Since we started a year and some few months now, I have been designated as a minister. I've responsibly been in this House to answer questions. I've gone to committee to give briefing. I've done everything this House has ever wanted any minister of security to do. Yet, I've just been given only an oversight responsibility. So it's not something that is new or something extraordinary that is going to weaken Parliament. If you care to know, look at the committee's report. I don't know whether you've taken time to go through. You will have seen that in the committee's report, there's even a new addition about how this House could place an oversight on the security and intelligence sector. So, please, Mr. Speaker, I think my colleague should straight to whatever contribution that is made, but it doesn't create an impression or mislead the House to, as if something untoward is now coming. What we are coming to do is not much different from what has existed in the past. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, before I go on with my submission, let me register this protest. Mr. Speaker, it is unacceptable. It's unacceptable for the Honorable Minister, who has his own opinion on this matter, to smuggle it in under point of order. He has an opinion. He should state it when the time comes. When we are done, he as a minister has every right, unfettered, to make his point known. And any point of disagreement with my submissions, that will be the right opportunity to do so. I mean, at least, let's be fair with each other. Mr. Speaker, my point here is that in the existing dispensation, we created that national security architecture and made it a ministry. Under Act 1030, a ministry was created, and the minister was made responsible for that sector, who was to report to Parliament, just to ensure that there's a seamless relationship with Parliament. Mr. Speaker, this new enactment, what is being proposed, so much power is being given to the coordinator. It is not clear how his powers are going to be fettered. And Mr. Speaker, my submission is that if you give such powers to the coordinator and you do not provide for a clear path of responsibility, accountability, and oversight, it becomes problematic to you yourself as a government. And when the rights of citizens are being abused, the man will come and tell you that in the name of national security, it is because I am relying on intelligence. Mr. Speaker, but if we bring clarity to the issue, Mr. Speaker, it becomes difficult for such people to, Mr. Speaker, as it were, take advantage of the law to abuse the rights of citizens. Mr. Speaker, if you go through the Memorandum of Understanding, it does not also explain how the so-called duplication concerns with the existing institution will be addressed in practice beyond the general coordination language. There's no explanation if you go through clause by clause. They have not addressed the issue of duplication. So what duplication are you addressing? Mr. Speaker, if you go through the bill again, it is clear that the measurable gaps in coordination that are supposed to be documented are not found. Whatever gaps that, according to the minister, have been identified, Mr. Speaker, it is expected that in this bill we find them. So there are no such documented gaps. You are not telling us that in the existing legislation, these are the gaps you've identified, and therefore you are introducing these new clauses to address them. Nothing like that is said. Mr. Speaker, I am interested in Article 18 rights. No additional protection is introduced to safeguard the rights of citizens when they are violated. Mr. Speaker, we cannot have a bill of this nature when we know that this bill will deal with human rights issues, yet we do not safeguard them. We allow so much ambiguity. Then by the time a citizen goes through the judicial process, he would have lost a whole lot. Mr. Speaker, when we give them the right to the power to even freeze people's accounts, freeze assets, and we do not provide for a procedure that would allow the right thing to be done. We heard about what happened to the former governor of Central Bank. We heard what happened. Somebody goes to his house and says that I had a court order. And later when we're asking for the court order, we all know the ex parte application, Mr. Speaker. We shouldn't wait to get into opposition before we find everything wrong with the law. The National Security Minister, or the minister responsible for national security, who is sponsoring this bill, must safeguard the rights of citizens. It's their right, far right. We know what is happening. In the name of national security, rights are abused, and at this point, as the people's representatives, we are enacting the law, and we do not want to put in these safeguards. It will come back and haunt us. I believe that at the right time, during consideration, we'll look at it. But important that I bring this to the attention of the minister and my respected colleague, the chair of the committee, so that we fully tackle this. The provisions in there are insufficient. I respectfully submit. Mr. Speaker, I am also concerned about the oversight mechanisms in this new law. Mr. Speaker, this framework doesn't appear to strengthen oversight mechanisms. And here I talk about Parliament. The Committee of Intelligence and Security is not given a clear, defined role in ensuring proper oversight. Mr. Speaker, not too long ago, we heard about the Attorney General in a public interview talking about some operational funds and how that operational funds has become a matter of some litigation in court. Mr. Speaker, don't we think as a House that this is the time to at least strengthen Parliament oversight on some of these matters, so that the committee whose members have taken an oath can interrogate some of these things? bearing in mind the essence of time, because Honorable Niti will argue that issue, that much as we want to put in place some measures, we should also ensure that we don't delay the release of funds for operations. The system that we put in place must be said that we balance oversight with prudence when it comes to operations. Honorable Minister, that in my view is also missing. Mr. Speaker, let us look at Article 21, 23, conjointly with 18. Mr. Speaker, 23 and 21 are very, very fundamental. We are dealing with issues of administrative justice. How sure are we that this bill will not give the security agencies that continued unfettered right to be using ex parte applications in the name of national security to continue to abuse the rights of citizens, especially those who do not have the means to employ lawyers to defend them? Mr. Speaker, many of our citizens are poor and cannot afford legal representation. For these citizens, they must be in our contemplation at an important juncture like this whilst we are enacting this law. If we don't bring clarity in this, Mr. Speaker, we'll be creating problem for the many who may not have the means to get high-class legal representation. And what happens to them? They will go to the BNI and then they will be told that, oh, you write this statement and just have your bail. They will write the next moment, they go to court and they tell them that, my lord, he said he admitted to the offense and he's guilty as pleaded. He doesn't have a lawyer. The next moment, he's in jail. There are many more of such cases. Mr. Speaker, I am a practitioner in our court, and I know many situations that people don't know about their own rights, and our security agencies have relied on laws to deny them leader. Their rights.
Yes, Majority Chief Whip.
Mr. Speaker, the minority leader is a senior member of this House, and he knows that he cannot depart from the terms of the report and move into anticipation. Order 1251 is clearly in breach of Order 1251. He can't do that. It's anticipating what will happen tomorrow, what will happen the day after tomorrow. You can't do that. No. The law, there are rules forbid anticipation. You can't be arguing in anticipation in respect of a report, the terms of which are very clear before you. You can't be arguing in a preemptive manner, anticipating that this will happen, and that will happen, and that will also happen. Mr. Speaker, he's a senior member, he's a leader. We learn from him. He's a leader. He should stay within the terms of the report.
Honorable Leader, take note of the observation and also take note of the fact that Clause 29 to 31 is a repetition of Act 1030.
Mr. Speaker, with respect, to the extent that my colleague suggests to this House that I am going outside of the issue before us, Mr. Speaker, I would like to respond for Hansa to also capture same. Mr. Speaker, I strongly disagree with him. At this stage of the lawmaking process is where